to Power to Practice. During today's training session, we are going to go through patient charting in Power to Practice. Once we're in our patient's chart, starting in the upper left-hand side, you will see all of our patient demographic information and if they have a balance on their account. Just to the right, we will have a sticky note where we can put in additional information about the patient. Now, this isn't an official part of the chart. It's nothing that patient sees, but you can put in any interests or hobbies, anything you want to really store within the patient's chart that would be used for in-office. When we have a note in the sticky note there, you're going to see a blue push pin appear. Just to the right of our sticky note, we have our monitor. This monitor tells us whether or not our patient has registered for their portal. If they have not registered, this icon will be gray. If they have registered, it will turn green. Now, in the event they locked themselves out, maybe they forgot their password or had an incorrect date of birth, this monitor would turn red to let you know that they're locked out. Just to the right of that, we do have our patient flyout menu here. We will cover all of these as we go through our training sessions. Today, we'll primarily focus on more of the lab results entry and the documents section. Directly below the demographic information, we do have our space for our allergies. Now, if our patients have registered for the portal and they are filling out their questionnaire, these allergies are going to be pulling over directly from it. In the event they did not respond, you can click on the drug allergy or other allergy and answer on the patient's behalf. After answering any questions within the medical profile, click Save, then click Patient Chart. When you get into the patient's chart, it does take you directly to the summary page. To cover what is also within the summary page, we have notifications. These are system-generated notifications that lets you know what's been going on in the patient's chart since their last visit. Just to the right there, we have an important section. Now, in terms of functionality, it's going to be identical to our sticky note. It's not an official part of the chart. It's nothing patients see, but you see it a little bit quicker when you get into the chart. You don't have to click in to view the message. Just to the right of our important section, we'll have our recent notes. Here you will see our 8 most recent notes in our patient's chart. The last section within our summary page here is the quick note section. I recommend storing information like phone calls or just a quick note that you need to take about the patient here, because this section will need to be manually saved. Upon hitting save, it will clear out of our quick note window, but we will see it populate here in that recent note. The next tab will be our notes tab. Here is where I recommend doing your heavier note taking. You will see any notes taken in the quick note section appear here as well. To add in a new note, simply click the plus icon at the top of the screen to add in a new note. Upon clicking in this open text box, it will pull a list of templates that you have imported into the account. You will then see your default settings appear. Do you want this note to be included in the medical note, and does it need to be visible to the patient in their portal? Any of these can be edited afterwards. You have the ability to sign off on this as well. Signing off on individual notes does make it read-only, and it puts your signature along the bottom of the note. In terms of your heavier note-taking, your progress notes, suggestions, things of that nature, I recommend this section because it does auto-save, but you do have a manual save option as well. Along the bottom, you will also see an option for the new note, in addition to the print icon. If your patient has asked for a copy of their suggestions, simply click Print and select what note you would like. This will create a PDF document for them It'll also be visible within their patient portal. You will also see your signature populate at the bottom of the note. If you are looking for your practice note templates, navigate to your 3-bar flyout, hover over Admin, and select Note Templates. Here you will see a few options. The first is to create your own template, where you can just free text and give it a title, set your default settings, and click Save. If you are looking for your practice templates, select a template, click Import. It will open it up for you to preview. Here you can make any edits to the practice note template, but it will only be reflected in your account. If this is a note template you like, click Save. You will see a collection of all of your imported note templates listed below. You can edit these at any time by clicking the edit icon on the left-hand side and making changes. Navigating back to our patient's chart and into the notes section. Another option you have within the Notes tab is to pull notes forward from a previous visit. If you click on Historical, it will by default show you the last 12 months to take a look at the previous notes that have been there. You can click into these to view it. You can also copy section notes to current appointment. So if you needed to drag a note template that had been previously worked on forward, clicking this here will pull it to be a current and add it on at the very bottom of your notes. Here you'll be able to edit anything you need edited, and it'll save a new copy for you under this current appointment. Next, let's go to the Exam tab. Here you will see the place to add in any of your vitals. There are no required fields here, so any of the questions you want to answer in the vital section will pull onto a table for you. Now, in regards to the rest of the questions within the physical exam, you do only have to answer the questions you would like. As you can see, these responses did stick over from the last time a physical exam was taken on the patient. You now only need to change the ones that are different. No required fields in this section either. So it is pretty comprehensive. So if there's any you don't want to answer, the practice doesn't answer, you can leave blank. When you're done, you'll just want to hit Save. The next tab is our Diagnosis tab. Here you can search by ICD-10 code or diagnosis. If your practice has gone through and saved their preferences for these diagnoses, you will see them pulling over as soon as you click into the box. You can select from one of these, search again by ICD-10 code or diagnosis. Once you select one and click Save, you will see it appear on the left-hand side under Current Diagnosis. You then have the ability to add in any assessment notes. By clicking on the notepad, it will open up to a section for a new note within the specific diagnosis. When there is a note in with this diagnosis, you'll see it indicated with a blue push pin. Below our diagnosis, you'll see a current symptoms section. Here you can search by your symptom descriptions and add them. Once you have all of your symptoms in that the patient is experiencing, you can click Save. Same functionality here, you do have these notepads to click into to put a specific note associated with the symptom. Again, when there is a note in there, it'll be indicated in the same manner with that blue push pin. At the bottom here, you're going to see historical section. This is any diagnosis or symptoms that you have removed from the patient's chart. When you remove them and hit save, it pulls them down here. Right now, we're looking at active in the last 12 months. If one of these symptoms or diagnosis came back, you can click Make Current, and it will pull it up to the top for you to then just select Save. Again, saving these after they're current again will pull it up in the current diagnosis section. The next tab we have is our medical history. Here you will see all the responses in these 7 categories from within the patient's questionnaire from their portal. For a lot of patients, they will fill this out once and you'll see all of these answers here. For this patient, an update has been made to both medical history and symptoms since the last time they were seen. This is easily identified because it turns red. If a patient needs more information in any of these categories or you need to answer on the patient's behalf, you can click into each area and it will open up that section of the questionnaire. No required fields here. So if they're selecting that they had a surgery or something removed and they only select yes, that response is still going to pull over. If they do go through and put in the year, or if you go in and put in the year and click Save and select Patient Chart, you will see your responses reflected in this section. If you want to see an overview of everything they've filled out within their questionnaire, you have a Patient History Report option. This will open in a new tab and let you know the last time the questionnaire had been saved and that has not yet been completed. Here it will break down in PDF form for you all of the responses that they have had. The next tab is Lab Results. Here you will see a list of all of the PDF documents that have either come in through an integration or have been uploaded into the patient's chart. When they are here, you can click the report to view. In the case of this test result, it has already been digitally signed. The signature would appear here at the bottom, as well as the date and time that it was signed. If you want to see the information that was put into the vitals or any of the labs that were manually entered, clicking on Discrete Data here will take you to the table. All our vitals will be pulling over here, and then any labs, if you're integrated with, some of them will put in the results here automatically through that integration. They will pull in here as well. Now, in the event there is a lab test that you want to track over a period of time that maybe isn't associated with the integration, or you want to specifically track from a history of the patient, you can manually enter in information to this discrete data table. To do so, navigate to the patient flyout menu and select Lab Results Entry. Here you will start by selecting the lab, the day and time in which this test was collected, and then you will search for your lab test. When you are selecting a lab test, you can select if you would like the individual test or the panel itself. If you select the panel but are only putting in certain responses, only the ones you're marking with the result will pull into the discrete data table, so no required fields with these. When you've completed entering in all of the test results, click Save. It will clear out of our window here. You'll see it then in two places. First, you'll be able to view any of your previous entries here. We'll now see it under discrete data. Because we backdated the time of the collection, you'll notice that the results are actually in this column here. If you needed to upload a lab result that a patient brought in or got faxed over to the office, navigate to the patient flyout menu and select Documents. Here you will have an upload option. If it is a test result, you'll want to change where it says document type to uploaded test result. That's what tells our system to put this uploaded document into the lab report section so that it's in one place for the provider. You'll then want to browse your computer to upload the test result. Once you've selected the document, click Upload. By default, when you upload a document, it is marked as private, so it's nothing patients are seeing in their portal. If you do need them to see this document, you can just uncheck the private column and it's visible to them in their documents section of the patient portal. Now, if we navigate back to lab reports, you'll see our test result pulling over. The last tab that we will cover today is our outcome measures. Here you will see these 5 sections that are pulling over from our patient's questionnaire. These are going to be system generated. So in these 5 sections, it will give you a scale of 0 to 100 based on their nutrition, exercise, sleep, and stress habits. Again, these are system generated and pulling directly from our patient questionnaire so that you can track trends after each appointment. In the event of this patient, there were no results from December 20th in any of the visits until the current appointment. That's why we're having all of these not applicables pull over, but they are starting to pull over as our patient is continuing to update the questionnaire. This sums up our second training session for Power to Practice. You can go to our Power to Practice Training Center to view more videos, or you can reach out to your customer success manager or our practice support team if you have any additional questions.